Okay. Real quick, I need to do the things. How do I do this? Oh, right. I go to my channel. Open link. I guess when I'm fast to doing this is when the thumbnail is just going to be my profile pic. I gotta get a custom thumbnail. I'm too lazy. And I'm not a big enough content creator to care. Yeah. Paste that in Discord. Gotta get a custom thumbnail. Pop out the chat. Put this down here. Oh, I should have done that beforehand. Ugh. Alright, we're ready. I believe we're ready. It says we're live. That took like a minute. That's pretty good timing, I think. I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we're good. I'm going to say we're good. We better be good, because if we're not good, oh boy, there's going to be heck to pay. Alright. So, oh, that's wrong. That's right. Okay, welcome back to some more Naruto card gaming. I have some mistakes to correct. So, let me quickly address the elephant that you may not say is in the room, but, you know, you may not say it, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to say the elephant is in the room, and I must address it. So, what is the elephant that I am referring to? I'm still setting up while I'm talking. I'm sorry. I'm so bad. I'm so bad at everything. I'm making my chat look better even though no one's ever in chat. I'm anal. What I must address is my grievous mistakes playing Naruto. So I think when I started with the game, I was playing just Naruto, and then I got into Sasuke, and I feel like I made some mistakes of starting to play Naruto like it was Sasuke, and that's bad. So let's talk about Naruto's unique strengths and how you should be taking advantage of them, because I was messing up with Game of Bunta where what I did, you saw a couple times, where my opponent would commit a body, and then, somebody's chatting! It's amazing. But anyways, hello, empty head. But, as I was saying, my opponent would summon a body, and I would summon, let's say, a Jiraiya. I think it was Jiraiya both times. Where's the vanilla Jiraiya? I remember doing it at least once with Jiraiya, where I would summon Jiraiya, and then, like, on my first turn, when I went second, I would buff it twice, and then sack it for Gamabunta and reset my chakra. The thinking is that that's free, right? Because you could reset your chakra for free on the first turn. But I don't think that's a good play for Gamabunta. The reason you do that with Manda, there's like multiple reasons why it's good to do it with Manda, but not with Gamabunta. Number one, you want to play your Mandas as soon as possible so you don't clog on them. You can't really string them together very well. I mean, you can, but you have to gamble. With Gamabunta, it's confirmed, so you know you can always just hold and use them all at once if you need to. But the other thing is that Manda you want to use early because you can de-brick your deck on the vanillas, and as soon as you can get them out of your deck, you can draw more cards better. So even if you get wiped by the opponent using a board wipe, well, you're still drawing better cards, so it still ultimately works out the same or better, and it definitely works out better if they don't wipe you. With Bunta, he's not de-bricking your deck at all. You don't need him for that. Just save him for a good moment. And I don't think that's a good moment because let's say your opponent attacks. Like, you know, you summon your two guys, your opponent has one guy, and they're attacking into you like a 3 damage guy. Are you going to block the attack? If you made the turn 1 Gamabunta play, you shouldn't block the attack because that gives them good value on their clear. Sasuke is more able to get away with that because whenever he uses his Karens, it's always healing 2 HP. Always, always, always. But if you want to prevent that 3 damage, let's say you have a Shikamaru, you got to do it now. Because if you wait till later, it might not be as optimal, might not prevent as much damage. Sasuke's better about that because he can do it whenever. Naruto's not. About keeping parity for the board wipes. So that's one reason why I feel like if you want to use your Gamabunta, make sure it's juicy. Like, use it on a rested character so your opponent can't attack into it. Or, you know, use it when you're, like, making a lethal push. Or use it to clear an opponent's body. Or use it to play around the kill 2 trap. Or use it to summon your EX Naruto immediately. Which, speaking of which, you should be summoning this more. I was in the mindset of, okay, I'm gonna wait until I get full value on the units I'm attacking with. That's bad, because for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's like the Manda situation, where you want to use Manda immediately to debrick your deck on vanillas. This is Naruto's way of debricking his deck on vanillas. And the way that the game is set up right now is you don't shuffle your deck after you search. I didn't actually realize this, but I've realized it now through testing, is that whatever the top left Naruto you see, that's the next one you're going to draw. So I was just randomly pulling a vanilla from somewhere in the middle. You actually want to pull the top leftist vanilla Naruto you see, unless you have like no vanillas in your hand, you maybe want to draw one, but generally, pull like the top leftist Naruto you see out of your deck, get it out of your deck, debrick on those vanillas. And you want to do that as soon as possible, but also, you're not actually losing out on much value by shotgunning it. Because what I was thinking is, oh, I want to get full damage from my guys first, and then tribute over them. But first of all, that opens you up to the kill 2 rested trap, like the Orochimaru and the Jiraiya, wherever the other one is. But second of all, if you think about how much damage you're actually losing, like say you have 2 guys on the board. You could attack with them, but let's say you played 1 this turn, so it can't attack, and the other guy is like stunned by the opponent's Itachi, for example, so neither can attack. Let's say they're both 3 damage guys. If it's a situation like this, sure, maybe you want to hold for next turn or whatever. But like, you know, even just a little bit of incentive to go into EX Naruto, you should go into EX Naruto. Because when you think about the damage, let's say you do wait till next turn, you swing with both those 3 damage guys, that's 6, and then you tribute over them from EX Naruto, immediately it's another 3, so that's 9 damage over 2 turns. Now, let's say instead, you tribute over your two guys immediately. Well, you get 3 damage this turn, and then 6 damage next turn, because you still have 3 damage guys. That's still 9 damage over 2 turns. But the difference is you played around the kill 2 guys trap, because if you played into it on your second turn before summoning the EX Naruto, you might have left with a board that doesn't summon the EX Naruto. And that's bad, because it means you're getting less damage, and it means you're not debreaking your deck. And the faster you churn through your vanilla Narutos, the faster you draw your like good Narutos, like your board wipe Narutos, like your more EX Narutos to kill the opponent with. So you do want to be playing these relatively quick. I do think trying to get a little greed with their value is good, but not too much greed, because you want to be debricking. This is your only way to debrick with Naruto. And then Ino-Shikacho, I think I've just made the mistake of overvaluing. Obviously, the more pieces you have to Ino-Shikacho, like more Inos, more Shikos, more Chojis, makes the combo stronger, but if you have it at base value, it's not amazing. It's like good, but you shouldn't go too far out of your way to make sure it happens. Because, like, when you think about what you're actually getting with it, you're getting +1 damage on 3 units, and you get rush on, like, 2 of them. Shikamaru's already going to be in play, right? But you get rush on Choji probably and rush on Ino. And that's nice, but, like, it is good damage, but you're leaving all of your bodies sideways. Your opponent's probably going to be able to clear at least one of them, unless you have a lot of protection. And because they're all sideways, like, maybe you're going to use them to clear some of your opponent's bodies. That's okay, but that means you're not getting damage on face. But also, if your opponent has almost no bodies, you have 3 bodies, you're putting your opponent in a good position where they could board wipe you for good value. And if they have a lot of bodies, they can probably just attack into all your bodies and clear all of them, so they can effectively board wiping you without a board wipe. So their value is a bit hard to... It's not as amazing as I think it was in my head. It's good, but it's not amazing, and I think it's important to recognize what it actually is, especially at base value. Obviously, the more extras you get, like doubling up on Ino, makes it a lot better. But at base value, it's good, but it's not crazy. And so you shouldn't go out of your way to, like, I think force it to happen, is what I'm starting to get in my head. Anyways, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. Let's actually fight. Let's do the thing where we fight. I want to fight now. Let's fight. I'm correcting my mistakes of being the Naruto. So we are going to fight with the Naruto for now. Will I switch to Sasuke? Maybe, but I want to correct my Naruto mistakes. Basic Naruto, where a basic Naruto be. Also, there's an important thing to note about the current way the game is functioning, and that is the fact that currently Choji and Suigetsu are being telegraphed. I assume this is going to get fixed, but if you set as Choji or a Suigetsu, your opponent will know, because when you summon a card, the opponent gets a window, but only if they have a face-down Choji or Suigetsu. So you should be holding your Chojis. Suigetsu, there sometimes is a reason to set, but you pretty much never want to set your Choji now, because it just gives away that it's a Choji, which is a blank back row. And if your opponent knows that one of their back rows is fake, you don't want them knowing that, right? Also, you don't want them knowing you have Ino-Shikacho potentially live. So, yeah. That is fine. Okay, what do we do now? We have an EX Naruto, so we could try to go into Gamma Bunta to make that happen. That seems a little greed, because we don't get that much value out of the Gamma Bunta. So we'll probably just make a basic play. Yeah, we'll just make a basic play. Obviously, we do want to go into EX Naruto kind of quick, but, like, we don't want to be too stupid with it. Oh, you know what we messed up on? We were supposed to attack first. It's fine. It's fine. Because we have, like, no vanillas anyways, so we can't break on them. So if they Sakura us back, then it's not a big deal. They didn't do it, so we're fine. That was a misplay, but it's fine. I should have also paid attention to see if there was a support cutting window. I don't think there was, so I'm pretty sure it's not a Suigetsu. That's just something you have to keep in mind now. Which, also, what did they reveal? Hold on, they did double reveal. Summons Itachi, revealed Sasuke. That's the, okay, that's the, EX Sasuke. Okay, we should probably kill that. They summoned first, which is bad. Yeah. Just get that out of the way. They summoned first, which is bad, and it means that they can't get good... It wouldn't be good board wipe anyways, but yeah, just get it out. Kill it. Oh, right, and we can't attack because they revealed the N14 Sasuke. Yeah. Interesting hand. We can't attack. That's lame. I think we have to slow roll this. Okay, we could summon an Ino. That's not even great here, though. Because I can hold for Ino Shikacho combo since I already have 2 pieces. Again, you don't want to be too valuable on it. But at the same time, like, if the opponent attacks and I try to block him, which I don't have to block him, but if I try to block him, then I'm giving him a good board wipe. I guess we can just play it. Because... I guess I'll just play it. Again, don't be too in love with the Ino Shikacho combo. But, and it's only a 2 damage guy. If it was a 3 damage guy, I'd be more incentivized to not summon this Ino, because I probably want to kill him, and I don't want to give him a good board wipe. But, because he's only 2 damage, I'm probably just going to take it. I may have wanted to hold this Jiraiya, because it's a way that I can bridge into Gamma Bunta. But I could theoretically use 2 Jiraiya's, so, eh. Oh, I knew we had that. Let's see. Now this is worth stopping. Do we Ino so that we can high roll Ino Shikacho? That's actually not bad. Because Shikamaru, if I pump him up twice to attack over the EX Sasuke, that gives me a free way into EX Naruto, which makes sense to use. And if I high roll and draw Choji, sure, why not? He's gonna Koto that. I'm gonna let him Koto himself. Do I use this now? I can kill EX Sasuke anyways with Ino, with a +6. So I think it's still worth it to just let this through. That's 3 damage. I'm gonna let it through. Then again, he's committing by using Koto, so maybe I was not supposed to let it through. Double EX Naruto. Interesting hand. This is an interesting hand. He's only got 1 back row. I was maybe supposed to use this, but it's fine, because it works out. We're going to leader effect, confirm, leader effect, confirm. We'll attack, we'll kill the Sasuke. This is awkward. I should be EX Narutoing here because I already committed to this. Which means we have to summon this. That's fine, I guess. Alright. Do we summon the Toad? We could go all in here. I'm thinking. Could go all in here. We have one form of protection. I think we don't need to go all in here. I'm not gonna. We only have one form of protection. I'm not gonna go all in here. We actually do want to draw some vanillas, so I'm gonna pull from the second to the leftist. And then we'll summon another one. Do we need to summon another one? We don't need to. This is decent value already. And we can just push the extra 3 damage next turn. We need to recover? What's he gonna do? EX Sasuke me, though? I will just attack here, I think. And then I think we will hold this. Because it's not like we got crazy value from it anyways. We'll end turn. This threatens the lethal next turn regardless, but... Of course, if we went wider, we'd be threatening lethal next turn through a disruption. But I don't want to fall in love with that disruption in case he can, like, double wipe me, you know? There it is. I'll try the Lightning Blade. Okay, that'll take. That's totally fine. I was worried about a double Chidori, but if he's just gonna play another Koto to lock himself next turn, I don't really mind that. God, we don't have the vanillas. Where are our vanillas? Shish kebabs. We really want to, like, hit him this turn. I don't want to not hit him. I think I am... I feel so weird. I think I do want to just get into the EX Naruto, because he's locked on Chakra next turn. I gotta take advantage of that. It feels awkward, but I gotta. Yeah. Hit him in the face. Then we set this. Turn Endoda. He has so many cards in his hand. We're trying to avoid Itachi at this point. Itachi is the thing that will make us sad. EX Sasuke also potentially could make us sad, depending on how he sequences this. If he attacks immediately, though, I'm just going to kill it. Just don't Itachi me, please. Pretty please. You've already been through one Itachi. Surely you don't have another one in hand. And a way to activate it. Okay, we're going to Hinata that always. Because now he can't EX Sasuke me this turn. Okay, wrong Itachi. Oh, wait. Oh, he EX Sasuke me because he had Manda. How dare you? That wasn't supposed to happen. Is he not going to attack for some reason? Surely you attack. I mean, we're going to kill it. So. Can't let that much damage do. I think I might top deck an EX Naruto here? No. But this is still lethal if he has nothing. Which he has one chakra open. So that's probably enough for it to not be lethal. Oh no, we don't have lethal. No. So we'll attack first. I can maybe recover my chakra first, but it doesn't really matter. And then there's a question to be made about which of these to play. I think we take the extra damage now because I know he can't punish me with the double wobble. So we're gonna recover, and we're gonna do this. And we're gonna attack him in the face. And now we end turn. He would recover his chakra now, unfortunately. But we're putting him in on check, where the only thing that saves him now is Karin. If he doesn't have a Karin, which he's not seen any of his Karins yet, so it's likely. But if he doesn't have a Karin, then we win the game next turn no matter what he does here. Unless he can somehow double EX Sasuke me, but I think that's... No, I have the Jiraiya. There's no way. Alright. Victory! Let's do another one. That was definitely an awkward hand. You don't often run into situations against Sasuke while playing his Naruto where you're bricked on not having vanillas to play. Normally they just keep Sakura bouncing them back into your hands, so you got too many. You always got too many. But in this case, we were Gucci the whole time. It was never a problem. In fact, it was the opposite problem. I'm curious if there was some imperfections in my play there because I was caught off guard by not drawing as many vanillas. There was maybe some ways where I could have played better there. Maybe I should review that game. After this. After this, if someone joins. Here we go, basic Nard. Yeah, this is a keep. Okay, say it with me. Don't set your Choji. That tells the opponent they have Choji. That's right, I gotta remember to pay attention if there's a summon window when I summon, because that tells me if they have Suigetsu. Now granted, they could be like the fastest clicker in the West and trick me, but I'm not the best at clicking like that. So, I guess we just play Minato, even though we can't attack immediately. I think it's still probably correct. We set this. We set this. We set this, I guess, for flexibility. We just have everything to set. Set this, and I'll set a second copy of this. And it sucks because I can't attack this turn, but I still want to get it in rotation, so I'll summon it. And, okay. Looks like they're disconnecting. I don't really care to deal with that because I don't care about ranking on this account. I'll give it like 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2... Oh! I should have ended turn and let the clock run down on their turn. It would have been weird if they disconnected immediately, but we're just going to Hinata that. We have 2 Hinatas. And because they can't be used on EX characters, it makes sense to use them somewhat readily. It's fine. Once again, I wasn't paying attention. It's not something I should need to be paying attention to. The whole, oh, I actually like tributing Sakura. Although I specifically like it against the Sasuke matchup, because Sakura's not great in the Sasuke matchup. Against the Naruto matchup, it's probably fine. Depends on what their hand is. We are drawing the vanillas now. That's good, question mark, ha 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 ha. Well, start by attacking. You do sometimes have to question what is the value of attacking, but when I have this much stuff to prevent my enemy's attacks, that is totally fine. Guess what I'm going to do this turn? You'll never see it coming. We do it again. We summon the Minato and attack again. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. We summon the same guy. Will you Sakura them again? No. Oh, they're making this a good board wipe, but it's okay. I'm pretty sure they don't have Suigetsu. I think I would have seen the trigger. So making this a good board wipe, but of course we don't have a board wipe. We want to set this here. We might need to counter a... Do we attack? Do we attack or do we recover our chakra? I think we need all this chakra. I've made the mistake of attacking and then really regretting it. So, yeah. We have like 5 chakras worth to use, so we'll recover. Let's see. If we kill this, which we... that would be bad. We can Shikamaru this, though. This is a good Shikamaru. We'll do the Shikamaru. Because that means he doesn't have a clean way to attack into this. He would have to use his 6-6. And I can stop the 6-6 with the Hinata anyways. So, if he does that, which it's 3 damage worth, so we might want to go into the face. He does go into the face. So, here's the question. Do we try to bait, or do we go straight for this? I think we can afford to bait. Because if we go for full value on... oh! Look at that. If we go for full value, it gives him a good board wipe. Which now he could do, but he'd be using all of his chakra. Look at that. Baiting successful. And the thing is, even if... The important thing about baiting is that if the bait fails and the opponent just lets it through, it still has to be good value. And it was. Because it makes a board wipe bad for them. I have the ability to attack in and clear his Manda next turn with my Shikamaru, who gets no good value anyways. Interesting, he's choosing to... Oh, the board wipe was on top of his deck. Okay, so... What's cool now is that I know... So, I want to go as big as possible here, because I know all he can potentially do is board wipe me. Although he has 2 cards in play already, and I have no prevention. So his hand is actually not great, but we can Minato him and then Minato him again, so we probably should. It's not great, because he's got Amanda. We have no protection. So... This could be better. This is one of those cases where we're just breaking on too many vanillas now. We started the game with no vanillas, but now we're just drawing all of them. We'll do the best we can here. We'll attack. Sure. Now we don't even need to play around the Gucci trap, but we will... Yeah, we'll do it. We don't even need to play around the Gucci trap, but I'm still gonna do it. Recover our chakra. It's a bit unfortunate because it's not the best use of a chakra recovery, but it's fine. Here's the thing, I don't even love attacking here, but it forces him to attack the Minato, and then I can attack back and kill him on my turn. It's still probably correct to attack here, but I don't love it. And then we just summon another guy. Oh, right, and then we attack with the Shikamaru. Is this correct? Because I would argue that there's an argument to not attacking with the Shikamaru, because it's doing like nothing. It's 1 damage to face, which is like nothing, which we can use to clear a threat on the next turn. That is like nothing, and it gets cleared by like nothing. Like a Karin can attack into it. I think that's not worth it. I think we hold the Shikamaru. We can summon a Jiraiya. There's an argument to summoning Choji. I just don't think that's worth it either, though. We don't want to go that wide. There's really not a reason. It's just, yeah, we could. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna hold it. Thinking about damage, though, we're like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, it's gonna be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 next turn. If it was 8 with Choji, it's okay, but it's nothing crazy. Oh, interesting. I would have attacked the Minato there. Why is he doing that? He's just letting the Minato live? That's definitely wrong. You can't board wipe me because you can't reset your chakra. If I draw the nuts this turn, I think I just, like, win for sure. If I don't draw the nuts, I might be in trouble. Ooh, Rasengan, that's pretty good here. So we can do what? 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on his face. And we have no prevention, so I think we have to do that. Which is not good. Well, hold on. 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Choji would have been 12. And if I hit with Shikamaru and he ignored it last turn, it would have been 13. No, we have to board wipe here. We have to. It sucks, but if we leave him with 5, it's just way too likely that he could, like, EX Sasuke me and kill me, and I have nothing to prevent that. So while it sucks, we just have to, because that's just how our draw went. So we're going to hit him in the face all of the times, and then we will board wipe. Not happy about it, but it's kind of what has to happen here. If he had used Manda to clear my Minato, I don't know. I would have needed a better draw. If my draw was slightly better, then we could have been punished for not playing Choji last turn. Okay, that's 5. And then we just board wipe. Rasengan! Yeah. Suigetsu targeting what? Oh, that doesn't feel good. That really doesn't feel good. I guess I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Feels really bad, but I don't think I can afford to Lightning Blade that. Now, he's been through 1 Chidori. He's got a 3 damage thing in, so we have to, like, extend into things. I want to hit him in the face. I would like to hit him in the face. So we'll hit him in the face. I think we can't afford to extend too far, though, because then we can't use our Lightning Blade. And no matter how we do this, we're not going to be able to use our Lightning Blade. I think we just accept that the Lightning Blade's kind of dead. I think that is the correct way to play this. Granted, they have, like, nothing, but we have no prevention. We're going to be taking 3 damage. I think this is the correct way to do it. Hold on. No. Yeah. It's not great. Yeah, this is how we'll do it. We'll summon this. We play Expansion Jutsu. Then... yeah, this is how we do it. I don't love it, but I think it's the correct way to do it. We're going to summon this. We're going to bring back the Minato. Leader effect on the Minato. Confirm. Attack face. Attack face. Attack face again. Which does tell them that I have like nothing, but they would need an EX Sasuke and a way to use it. And they just use a Suigetsu. And then we end turn, and we hope it's enough. Because I have lethal a few ways. I have lethal with just Gamabunta swinging. I have lethal with Choji and Naruto swinging. If he lets Minato live. Of course, he could do a board wipe here, and I have no way to stop it. But if I stop the board wipe, it's not great anyways because, like, I'm so low on life. And this puts him in check in so many ways that I'm just choosing to not play around the board wipe. And I just have no prevention in my hand. So I don't think... he did recover his chakra, which means I'm not dead. Unless he can somehow double EX Sasuke me from this position, but I think that's impossible. Oh, and he has it. He has it. If we had somehow held one more chakra, and we could have used the lightning blade, things might have been different, but we might just lose this. We need a good top deck, and we don't get it. If we had held the lightning blade, could we have somehow held the lightning blade? If we decided to not go for an immediate attack last turn, we could have maybe held it, but then there's other things that would have lost to as well. So, yeah, we just lose. Unfortunate. Are they going to attack? I'm just going to leave. Okay. Let's look at both of those. I wonder, like, was there a way to win that? So first of all, for the previous game, what did I want to look at again? My mind is now so set to the next game. I'm trying to remember why I wanted to come back to this game. There was something in this game that I wanted to look at, and now I'm struggling to remember what it was. It wasn't any of this. Oh, that's right. It was funny that, oh, next game I ended up bricking on too many vanillas. This game, I had, like, no vanillas ever. I think I played it fine, though. This all seems fine. Right, could I have EX Naruto'd again? I mean, there's not super much value from that anyways, because I want to draw vanilla. That's true. Oh, right, I was thinking about holding a Jiraiya earlier. So I could potentially summon it for chakra value. That might have been correct. Like, if we go back a little bit. When did I commit the Jiraiya? When did I commit the Jiraiya? It was pretty early. Because I used a Hinata. Right, and then on my next turn, I drew a Jiraiya and I decided to commit it. I think you want to keep a normal summon in hand so you don't get bricked. I think I should have kept this Jiraiya in hand. I was just thinking I might end up using it. And that's true, but you don't want to get bricked on a position where you can't summon anything. So I think holding the EX Jiraiya was a valid play. I don't think it's wrong to set it, but I don't think it would be wrong to hold it. I think it just... you make a choice. That was the main thing I think I was thinking of, is that would it have been right to hold the Jiraiya? And like, now I have to commit the Naruto board wipe instead of committing the Jiraiya. And that's like chakra inefficient. And is the Naruto board wipe more value overall? Debatable, right? So, like, maybe I was supposed to hold the Jiraiya, but I don't think it's that big of a difference maker. Though maybe it is correct in that situation. I think that's all I really wanted to look at, right? That was the only thing that was bugging me, was that Jiraiya usage. Yeah. Okay, if we look at the next game... Interesting. This game started similarly where I had no vanillas, but I just kept drawing them over and over and over again. Bouncing the Minato feels bad. What else do they have? Okay. I would have had a great, if they bounce my Minato, I have a great board wipe here, but I just don't have the board wipe. And they don't have a way to protect their board either from a board wipe, so that feels like a really bad Sakura. But I had no punish. Right, I replayed the Minato. Yeah, this was fine because I had protection for it. This was a good play. Man, this was such a good play, and I ended up losing this game, huh? What went wrong? He plays a Manda here, and then doesn't even get the... Does he have the board wipe Sasuke yet? He has it set already. How long has he had that? Because that board wipe Sasuke was really valuable for him. He had it for a while. Okay. I don't attack with the Shikamaru here because it's so easy to clear, but then he goes for my face. Maybe I should have went for his face with the Shikamaru. I don't think so, though. I think he's just making a mistake by not clearing my stuff. The fact that I wasn't able to punish him at all is... To be fair, I should have set this Choji. Maybe that would have made him more scared, but the fact that I wasn't able to punish him at all is kind of ridiculous. He doesn't even have a Koto to stop me. And he's got, like... no chakra. I think it's such a mistake to go in on my face here. The fact that I have no prevention is so lucky for him. I think this was just a case of if I drew well here on this turn, I would have been fine, but I didn't. This was absolutely terrible. Because I'd been through 4 pieces of prevention, but I still had 8 left in the deck. I also could have won, I think, with an EX Naruto. Is that right? Well, hold on. Yeah, because he can't use any of these to protect himself. He has no protection. He doesn't even clear. He just goes for my face. Because with this, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... Actually, that is 1 away if I get an EX Naruto. Though I did get a Gamma Bunta. Okay, I can see the logic. Still, though, if I get any kind of prevention or anything... It's so risky for him to go to my face there. If I had Shikamaru hit him in the face, it'd be different. Was I supposed to Choji last turn to make an even wider board? That seems a little silly, doesn't it? Maybe he was right. Maybe I was supposed to Choji last turn. Like, read the situation. I have no protection. I was just like, what does the Choji get me? Maybe the 1 damage. I should have done math. Like, I was like, there's no way he's going to let me keep the Minato, though. And he did, which is crazy, in my opinion. I think it was definitely wrong for him to do that, but it worked out. I guess if I counted math, I could have seen that this puts me at 10, which means if I draw an EX Naruto, that's lethal. So it's worth it to commit the Choji. And I know he can't board wipe me next turn, so I was probably supposed to just do it. I guess. I guess. And then from this position, was I supposed to attack with the Shikamaru? I thought it was so easy for him to clear it, and it gets, like, no value attacking. It's going to get more value from clearing things. But if it had hit face, and if I had commit the Choji, then what is that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, then that's lethal. But, like, who knows, right? Like, would he have let things stay if he was lower on life? Would he have let the Shikamaru live? Petco, I believe, is a lowish rated player from what I was seeing. They're below 500, and I think it's one of those cases where their lower rating is the reason I lost, or rather, it's indicative of the kind of player they are, where you definitely want to clear the Minato. No matter what, you always clear the Minato here, and they didn't, and there's so many ways for me to punish them, and I drew none of those ways to punish them. And so, it's a case where because they're a worse player, they won, maybe? Because they played into something that I ended up not having, if that makes sense. But if I had it, I would have punished them heavily. Maybe. Yeah, this is such a bad Rasengan. I don't want to do this, but, like, I have no choice. Because I have no prevention in my hand. I have no more extension to clear. They Suigetsu. Am I supposed to Lightning Blade the Suigetsu? Because I didn't do it. Was I supposed to Lightning Blade the Suigetsu? I decided to let it through, because once I'm through that Lightning Blade, it's gone. But I guess once they do enough damage to me, I lose the Lightning Blade anyway, so maybe I was supposed to do it. Like, once I lose this, I have no back row. Choji will never act as genuine back row. So I can at least fake something with this, but Maybe they've made the read by now, but it's nothing real. I don't think so, given the kind of player they are. But in theory, maybe they could have made the read by now that it's nothing real, and so I should just use it. I go down to 5, which does not die to EX Sasuke plus Sasuke hit, because that's 4. Whereas this is 3 and puts me in 4, and puts me in dead to EX Sasuke plus Sasuke hit. Maybe that means I was supposed to Lightning Blade there. Maybe. Right, and here we're just going all in, being like, you know, if we get board wiped, we're screwed, but we have to. What I could have done is I could have half-measured it here. I could have allowed the Itachi or whatever, and what I could have done is I could have summoned a... I could have used 1 chakra to commit the Gamabunta. Right, and not... Yeah, so what I would have done is... I wouldn't have been able to attack them, though. No matter what, I wouldn't have been able to attack them. I don't think this is wrong here. I think I need to go for it. And that's the only way is to attack them is like this. I have no protection. If I had Lightning Blade last turn, and this was dead, then maybe I could have made a little more mild of a board. But it wouldn't matter, because if I had Lightning Bladed this, and then on my turn, I would have probably just played a regular Naruto. That makes sense. I'd be at 5 health. I'd have no back row. Do I punch them in the face? I have no back row, so yes. They would go to 4. And then what about on their turn? I would not be going super wide right now, probably. Because there's no reason to play into stuff. They'd be at 4. I wouldn't have them at 2. I'd have them at 4. But I'd have a regular Naruto on board with no back row. Although, alternatively, instead of having that 4, I could have them at 3 if I went into my Minato, but that's still playing into the board wipe. So I think I probably don't do that. Because if we're going to avoid playing into the board wipe, then we wouldn't want to take a half measure. What about on their turn? If we assume they're at 4... they refresh their chakra. I'm at 5. They currently have no Itachi in play. So, what am I at? I'm still at 5, because that attack doesn't exist. I don't know if they're going to Lightning Blade in this position. They're at 4. I have a 3 damage guy. They might do it anyways. And then they summon the Orochimaru. And I'm currently still at 5, right? Because they had to refresh their chakra. And in that case, if they're at 4, my next draw isn't anything, but I have the Gamabunta play in hand. So I can go into Gamabunta and hit them for 2 down to 2 health. I'm at 5, so I'm not dead yet. I live a little longer, but without being able to see what's next in the deck, I don't know if I would have won that. But maybe that means Lightning Blading the Suigetsu was right there? Because if I let it live and I go 2 low on life, the Kakashi might just become completely dead. That's fair. I think Kakashiing the Suigetsu is probably right, the more I think about it. Because if you become 2 low on life, it just becomes a dead card anyways. Yeah. Would that have made the difference? Who knows? I would need to draw more into my deck. But, yeah, I never saw any EX Narutos. That's a shame. That's a shame. It just feels weird, because throughout the game it felt like I was playing well there, but then it all went bad. Oh well. More fighting. We are fighting more now. I might switch to... That was an unsatisfactory Naruto game. I want to play another Naruto game. That was unsatisfactory. I could join the room. The reason I don't want to join rooms right now, and this is kind of a silly reason, is because, like, I am playing with my alt account, so I want somebody to join my room to know what they're getting into, in theory, if they know who I am, and know how high ranked I normally am, because this is an alt account with a lower ranking that's not necessarily giving them a... Anyways. That's why I don't really want to join someone's room. I want someone to join my room, knowing who I am. Or if they don't know who I am, like, this guy's super low rated, by the way. 389. How much do you have to lose to get to that? No offense, of course. Granted, more recently they've changed it, but let's see here. Set all our stuff. And then we summon a Naruto. And you see, this is where before I was like, oh, I'll summon the Naruto and I'll go into Gamamunta. I think that's wrong. I'm not going to do that here. I think that would be wrong. Summoning first, that always feels bad. There's an argument to be made for just fucking Hinata sniping the Ino so I don't have to deal with that nonsense. Because if I attack next turn and they Shikamaru me, I don't want to deal with that. I could double snipe them here. First, let's play the 8 trigrams because I don't want to get hit by this Jiraiya. Confirm. And then I kind of want to play the 8 trigrams so I kill the Ino. To punish them for their silly play. Because I don't have a great response if they Ino Shikacho me. Then again, if I hold it, it's fine. The problem with double sniping Hinata on the Ino here, that's giving too much value to their Ino Shikacho, I would say. The problem with it is that if we do it, and we commit another body next turn, it means they get a good board wipe, and I don't have any counter for that, right? All of the Shikamarus. How many Shikamarus do you want? Yes. So what we'll do is we will attack because we like to attack. They're going to Shikamaru. Of course they are. They probably do have Ino Shikacho. We'll see. Sure. Okay, now the question is, do I want to protect this? I could protect it by summoning a Gamabunta. That does stay in parity. Let's set another one of these. Because we probably want to summon the Naruto here. And then we could stay in parity by... That would stay in parity. And if he goes for an Ino Shikacho combo... Granted, it's not in parity if we kill his stuff as he's coming at us. So I won't do it. I'll just summon the Naruto. And that'll be it. Oh yeah, I'm going to also attack. Which, pretend I already did that. Which, what does it matter, though? If he's going to Hinata this Naruto, then he would have Hinata'd it, whatever. Who cares? It's not a big deal. It's just a vanilla Naruto. It doesn't matter. We're going to pretend like it doesn't matter. And we are going to end our turn there, because I actually don't want to play too heavily into a board wipe. Like, if he Ino Shikacho and then puts everything... Because, like, if I'm going to be clearing his stuff to not give him too much value from Ino Shikacho, then it gives him a better board wipe, which I don't want, so... He does have the Choji, so it might have been right to snipe him with Hinata last turn, but that, you know, it's a judgment call thing, right? And I was valuing keeping parity over with the board wipe over being like, oh, what if he Ino Shikachos me? Because I have prevention to deal with his Ino Shikacho stuff. Is he going to use it to all go face? Let's find out. So we definitely Hinata to snipe the Ino, which could have done that last turn, but the situation was different. I could let that through. It's like a nothing attack. I mean, yes, it's 2 damage, but it's not that big of a deal. Remember, we want to stay roughly in parity. This I'll block with a Shikamaru. I want to protect my guy so I can hit him in the face. Now if he board wipes here, it's not crazy good for him, but if he doesn't, it is pretty good for me. Yeah, Protecting face damage, like, from 3 damage is good, definitely, but from 2 damage, you can usually let that through if you're trying to keep parity, because if I double Shikamaru in there, I'd be opening my board up to be a bit wide and make it the value for him to, like, board wipe pretty juicy, which you always want to keep mindful of. And I can use my Shikamaru to clear his Shikamaru, and I can use my Naruto to clear his Choji, so I can get in the full 6 damage in his face and get pretty good value from that. EX Naruto, okay. And what's he going to do with that? Face? Or is he going to go after my Naruto? The reason I didn't set the 3rd Shikamaru before, by the way, I think we can afford to eat that. I'm gonna eat that. I don't think that's super important. And besides, if we don't eat that, he might just, Gamma Bunta, okay. He's just trying to make a big, smelly board, which is big and smelly. But that means my Shikamaru doesn't clear anything. He's definitely making a big aggressive board. He also summoned another EX Naruto with his EX Naruto, which is wrong usually. Just because you want to draw your other EX Narutos, now it means he's less likely to get more burst damage to beat me with. He also still has his normal summon. Ooh, I drew a board wipe. That's so good. And we use it, right? Because otherwise, we do have more Shikamarus. We've drawn all of our Shikamarus. We do have more Shikamarus, but we want to be a little careful with them. We should also probably try to board wipe, and if they, like, stop it, then, you know. Also, whether or not we board wipe is definitely going to be answered by whether or not they respond to my stuff at all. Like, if they, like, try to stop a bunch of my attacks. See? Like that. Now I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely going to board wipe. Okay, we'll let it through. We will attack. Okay, if they weren't going to do that, they should have held that. Now, I think I will Rasengan first. This does telegraph that I can't Kakashi them, but I think it's fine. We're going to play the Rasengan. Okay, and then let's see here. Do we summon a Shikamaru? Not really. We don't have any prevention. So, even though it's weird, I'm going to recovery. I'm going to set another Shikamaru, just in case. And then, I think I just hold. Because we don't really want to play anything here. And if we play something, we could play the Choji. We could just raw play the Choji. That's something. It's just kind of weird though, because it only takes one chakra to commit it. All it would be is what, 1 damage on him next turn? There's just not really a reason to play the Choji. So I'll just end turn. It's weird, because I had no plays this turn, no normal summons, but I think it's correct. Like, the Choji might be used to clear something, but he's not going to have anything to clear this turn. Unless I guess he Minatos me. Which I could just answer with a Shikamaru. So, I just don't see a reason to play the Choji. Okay, so here's a case where we can maybe get some good juicy value. We can actually win this turn if they have nothing. Which is unlikely, but, you know, it could happen. Alright, let's go for it. I mean, we'll go for the win. We'll see if it happens. If it doesn't happen at some point along the way, then it doesn't happen. Attack again. They let it through. Okay. There's an argument that we could, like, go for our Choji here. But, like, we have no prevention against a board wipe, so I just don't see the point. We actually do want to draw a vanilla here. At least one of them. So they have to stop this. Or they die. They didn't stop it. Well, I guess they could Shikamaru this. Huh. They really had nothing. I was gonna look that game over, because I'm like, what is their back row that they couldn't do anything? But I guess I'll wait till after this one, and then I'll look at what they had. Because, like, 3 back row and they really couldn't do anything? That's so surprising to me. I really gotta know what those back row are. We can hold that. Not a great opening hand. This is a case of you went first, you drew a hand that wasn't great, but you went first, so you weren't allowed to mulligan, and you just have to hope the top deck doesn't fuck you. This is one of those cases where if I was playing Sasuke, I could maybe use the effects I have to mitigate this bricking, but because I'm playing Naruto, I might just, you know, things might just suck forever. I'm so impressed by my non-dropping of frames. What's changed? I swear nothing's changed major since I used to stream on Twitch, and I would drop frames all the time. And I feel like nothing important has changed. Am I forgetting something? Is it because it's YouTube? Am I stupid? I don't know. Maybe I could start streaming again regularly then. One of the reasons I haven't is because, like, I knew my internet stuff was bad. But apparently maybe it's not that bad. Which would make me go, huh? It's not? Since when? Also, no bodies. Interesting. They're thinking, because they have what, a Hinata? That's just an auto Hinata. They have a Jiraiya. They're thinking if it's worth it to Jiraiya. No, they have a Hinata. That's an auto Hinata. I guess to be fair, you know, they're a bit low ranked, but to me that's like you shotgun that Hinata. No reason to hold it. We can still summon this turn, so we should. So we'll do it. Oh, wait. They have Choji. They have Choji. Choji read. There was a second where I couldn't do anything. They have Choji. Don't set your Choji right now. Until they fix that, do not set your Choji. That's why they were thinking about not Hinataing, because they wanted full value on their Jiraiya. I see. I think they were correct to use Hinata. I think they're wrong to use Jiraiya here. The reason they were thinking about Hinata was because they're like, well, I might get full value on Jiraiya if they have Minato. But you don't know if I have Minato. There's no reason to, like, not play the Hinata just in case I have the Minato. When I play the Minato, though, just take the 2 damage. Don't waste the Jiraiya. But yeah, we're going to set our threatening back row here. So threatening. And we'll hit him in the face. I have to pee. Hopefully that doesn't affect my game quality. When this game is over, I will urinate. And then I will go over the first game. Because, yeah, what back row did they have that last game, I wonder? I know one of their 2 back row here is a Choji. Which means one of those is, like, not real. This could be real. The new one they played on the left could be real. Yep. We don't have any real back row. But at least they're not like Choji, because Choji would give away that it's not a real back row, because of how the thing is currently set up. It needs to be fixed, but... Okay. This is an awkward hand. I'm incentivized to go into EX Naruto on this turn, so that I can kill the Minato, because I have no protection. And also that lets me go into the EX Narutos to start de-bricking my deck, because I'm drawing too many vanillas. Now, do I sack an Ino, or do I sack a Naruto? That's a good question. I don't love killing this Minato, but it has to be correct. It's just that if they have a board wipe, I'm going to be upset. Upsetty spaghetti. I think I'll sack this Naruto. The Inos are more value if I do get the Shikamaru and Choji. And, like, if I keep 1 and 1... No. If I keep 1 and 1, that means I sack an Ino. Hold on. We hit them in the face first, right? We're only going to be spending 1 chakra. Yeah, we hit them in the face. Hit in the face. Because if they decide to, like, Shikamaru hit me here, then I might just fucking board wipe them. They took it. Okay. This is a tough choice. I don't know what's better here. You hold the 2 Inos in case you get Ino Shikacho value later, but this is just a 3 damage threat, which I would not mind having. I think I don't want to overvalue the Ino Shikacho stuff. I'll just value that, and I'll summon the Ino and throw it away. There's that Choji check again. I keep thinking the game is glitching. I'm like, I can't do anything. I'm not gonna remember. They have Choji. That's why there's a stick. Yeah. I forgot that this was a 3 chakra commit, but it doesn't matter because I have no real back row. Granted, this tells them I don't have a Jiraiya, so maybe it was slightly a mistake to do this, but whatever. It was maybe a mistake because I could have kept them at 14 and kept them thinking I could have had the Jiraiya trap, so they might try to play around it. But I feel like they're low enough rating that I shouldn't need to worry about that. I don't know. At the end of the day, I have no real back row, and so getting them down 1 more damage is nice. And I could always have a Hinata or a Shikamaru. It's just the Jiraiya trap they know now that I don't have. Which, like, sure, I guess. There's an argument... There's a real argument to actually not Minatoing here. And instead just going straight for the EX Naruto. Because A, if we Minato here, that's fine. If we Minato here, we're opening ourselves up to... If we Minato here, we're opening ourselves up to getting destroyed so that we can't use our EX Narutos. But also, if we Minato here, what am I saying? If we go for something that's not Minato, we get to keep 2 chakra so we can fake that we have the Jiraiya trap. And also, it assures we can go to the EX Naruto without getting screwed. However... And if we use the Minato and clear the Minato, it puts them in a good position to board wipe, because we have 2 things and they have nothing. But, like, it's just such a... It's just so awkward. There is definitely an argument to, I have 2 EX Narutos, so let's go into them. But, it's true I don't want to brick, but I have the 2 board wipes myself if they clear my stuff and go wide. But by using the Gamma Bunta, I now have no convenient way of getting into the EX Naruto. So maybe I was supposed to just go straight into EX Naruto. It's tough. It's tough. I think keeping the 2 chakra open to fake that I have the dry trap maybe means it was correct to just go into EX Naruto, not go into the Minato. And also that means he's not in a super good position to board wipe me. Maybe. This is going to be an awkward coming turn as well, because we're incentivized to board wipe, but I don't want to use EX Naruto and then board wipe. So, I'm not too sure. Do win. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not quite. We have no prevention, so we have to board wipe. Yeah. Do we go into the EX Narutos first? I don't think so. We have the Choji so that we can go into EX Naruto next turn. So, I think that's okay. Let's just attack. We have to hit them in the face because we're going to be board wiping. This gives it away, but we have double board wipe, so like it's fine. I know one of his back rows is Choji. I still know that. Maybe I was supposed to do double EX Naruto last turn. It's tough. It's a really tough situation. Recovery. Or Sengon. If you Lightning Blades, that's pretty good for us. If you double Lightning Blades, that's pretty bad for us. We could summon the Ino here. Just because, you know, maybe we draw the thing. But I think it's fine to just summon Minato, because he has no... I think it's fine to summon Minato. It gets more damage on him. Every time, that Choji check throws me off. I gotta get used to it. I gotta get used to it because I assume it's gonna get fixed whenever you summon, they get a window. Which is why I just gotta get used to it. So far, I'm not used to it. So far, I'm used to you summon, and then you can immediately do whatever you want. But it seems like currently they don't have that. Oh, you know, I could just play Expansion Jutsu now, and then just go for 6 extra damage now. That's not bad. It means I won't break next turn, and it puts them in check. Let's do it. Yeah. They could Kakashi this, but like that's fine. Well, it's not great, but we don't want to draw another vanilla. Oh my god, the two... Are you kidding me? We're drawing all of the board wipes. And then we do just go into another one, because we don't want to run to a situation, because right now we have no way to set up another one. That's fine. And then we just end their turn. And they have Rasengan, that's fine. Can they kill me? It's possible. They've seen no Gamma Buntas yet. If they have the nuts in hand, like double Gamma Bunta plus EX Naruto, I'm dead. Oh no, it had to be double Gamma Bunta, EX Naruto, and a normal summon. Gamma Bunta plus Minato plus EX Naruto does it. I know I'm going to be drawing my board wipes soon, so I should probably be liberal with using this board wipe. My EX Naruto isn't for a while. We still have 3 more Gamma Buntas. We still have 2 more Minatos. Any of those would give us stuff. He's Chojing now. Oh, interesting. This is a Choji, but one of these is also a Choji, right? He still doesn't use that Choji. Does he have an EX Naruto? Do they have an EX Naruto? I think if they don't have an EX Naruto, this is probably wrong. Maybe they have an EX Naruto. I know they have another Choji. And they have an unknown. They don't have an EX Naruto. That's almost certainly wrong. We have to recover. We use a Rasengan, which they can't possibly stop because we have 2. We could summon an Ino, but I think the Naruto is better. I don't know if it is when they have 3 life. I'm not sure if it's actually better. I think it could be, but they're considering summoning the Choji here. Choji here would be interesting, because we should set this. Choji here would be interesting because they could do 2 damage to me and maybe get an EX Naruto and beat me that way. So they may have wanted to Choji there. I still had to summon this, or the Ino, one or the other. Because there's like a fringe possibility where I draw Shikamaru and Choji next turn, and I can Ino Shikacho, and that's why you would summon the Ino. And that's why it's maybe the debate is that you're supposed to summon the Ino, because like, if they, the debate is that you're supposed to summon the Ino, because it's kind of the same anyways, because if they have removal or prevention for your Naruto attack, it's the same as preventing the Ino attack, because if they let the Ino attack through, they die to, they would need to prevent the Naruto attack, the Naruto face attack. But if they can do that, why wouldn't they just prevent the Ino attack, you know? So obviously we attack and we see if they have anything. And if they don't have anything. I know one of them's Choji. What's the other one? Oh. So it's Shikamaru and Choji. The other one has to be Choji. Okay. Interesting. So, we're going to Rasengan that. Should we attack? I probably shouldn't attack. I should play around stuff. I shouldn't attack. Because if we're Rasenganing, which we are... Well, we don't have to. We're going to do it. We're doing it. I am holding my piss here. Had to piss this whole time, this whole game. I could attack. Because, like, what's the odds that they get 2 things they can attack with to put me in check? I'm not sure. And, like, putting them at 2 doesn't even put them at a huge clock. I think I'll recover. And this is one of those cases where I knew they would have Ino Shikacho. I was going to board wipe them anyways, but I knew they had Ino Shikacho, because I know this is Choji, because of how the app is working right now. Or, not an app, but, you know, the browser thing. It's a lot of back row. There's an argument to attacking with Naruto last turn to put him at 2 HP so that they can't Kakashi anymore. Speaking of Kakashi. Oh boy. I mean, we try the attack, we see if it goes through. Of course they Jiraiya. We can't really afford to Kakashi because we just can't. They could block the second attack, so we'll pass. We'll attack with Naruto. They took it. This is interesting. We probably... I think we need this Hinata. It's too important. I want to put them on check, but I'm just thinking about what this... 2 Minatos, 3 Gamabuntas. Interesting. And Ino and a Shikamaru to stop them. I don't want to use this yet. I think we need these Hinatas. But I also want to put them on check for next turn. This is so close. I am going to summon the Hinata. There's also an argument to... I am going to summon it. There's an argument to just set it and just slow roll it more, which is an option, but I feel like putting them on check for next turn is important. I know one of these is a Choji. I can only Kakashi when, like... There's an argument to summoning the Kakashi, because I'm too low on life to make use of it. But that's not really true. It just depends on how things play out, right? Obviously, we have to Hinata this. We also have put them in a position where they can no longer Kakashi, so that's something. They have 2 real back row. I need them to have 1 real back row. If they have 1 real back row, then I can Kakashi aggressively. But as long as they have 2, I can't really do that. It's a really intense game. We let that through. We have to save the Shikamaru for a higher value thing. Okay. We attack with Hinata. How many Shikamarus are in their trash? Shikamaru is the important one to keep in mind because it's the one that can stop the leader attack. There it is. There's the Shikamaru. We have to let that through. We have a Rasengan. I think the correct thing to do here is we do attack because this puts them in check. If they summon their Choji, they didn't summon their Choji. Okay. We should Rasengan here. Technically, we can save ourselves even without Rasenganing. But this is a guaranteed Rasengan where if you like... We can't use Kakashi anymore. Kakashi's dead. Still, it's a good value Rasengan, so I should probably take it. Sure. Summon the Naruto. Technically, if I don't summon the Naruto, I play around the Choji, but I have prevention for that. End turn. Actually, he can't Choji. That's right. He's out of chakra, so summoning Naruto is fine. I was thinking maybe I'm not supposed to do that because I play around him having a Shikamaru next turn. I have a Shikamaru for a lightning blade for a Shikamaru next turn, but I can't do it twice. And if he has 2 Shikamarus, the God Draw, the remaining 2 Shikamarus, he could save himself. He's summoning a lightning blade guy. If he resets his chakra, I think we have enough prevention here. We only have 1 attack prevention. We could technically lightning blade this, but that would be pretty silly. Although, it would be too silly. We have to let it through. Right. So, the correct play here is Jiraiya. Because if we use Shikamaru and he has another EX Naruto, we die. so we have to play Jiraiya here. And he can't play Kakashi, so we are fine. And this means we do win. This is guaranteed now. He can't win. He doesn't even have any back row. But yeah, if he had back row, we had Kakashi. We had one Kakashi for it, so... I'll just say, that was a really good game, so I'll just say... GG. That was a really good end game. Like a really juicy, grindy end game. They're really low ranked. I wonder how they got to that position. Maybe they went through a training arc of their own recently and gotten a lot better. Or maybe I got unlucky in that game. Maybe I was actually unlucky that whole time and I wasn't paying enough attention. I don't know. Right, so I do want to go over those games, especially the first one. I'm wondering what they had at the end there where they had nothing to prevent me. But I do have to pee. That whole game I had to pee. Just so you know, I was holding a pee the whole time. I'm going to go do the pee now. I am back from the urination zone. The urination is for now complete. So, let's go over those. Marcos. How many games do you have? 4 wins, 18 losses. Stephen the Wonder, Susuke, Tournament. 4th. Huh. When are your wins? Actually had an early win. Huh. I mean, that was certainly a close game. Anyways, let's watch that replay. Who am I watching it from? I'm watching it from me. This is me. What does their side look like? They're going first. This is correct. Set your Sengons. Bluff that you have something. Although you're going first, so technically you don't have to say anything yet. So far, seems fine. I set my stuff. Hold my Choji. Don't show them you have Choji. This needs to get fixed, as I've said. Then they set their other stuff. This is where they're... Okay, this is some start of a misplace. You always start by attacking. Don't summon your stuff first, especially because if they summon this and commit both of these to the field, then they have no, like, plays, right? You should attack first, see if the attack goes through, see if you can you want to maybe go into your EX Naruto or your Gamabunta this turn. and end on going on summoning the Ino. And if you're going to set these, first of all, you probably should have held the Narutos in hand. You probably want to hold something to go along with these, which is probably a Naruto. Because if you have both of these set plus the second Naruto set, that's enough of back that you can hold one Naruto. And I Hinata it, because of course. I considered Hinata-ing this Ino. They didn't even have the Choji. They drew into the Choji later, on their next turn, it seems. Hold on. No, I'm thinking of the second game. I was like, isn't one of these Choji? But no, the next game is where the Choji comes in. I considered Hinata-ing this Ino, and it ends up that next turn they do draw the Choji. But it worked out, and I feel like if I Hinata this Ino, I'm playing too much into a board wipe, which they did have. It's so interesting because, you know, my Yu-Gi-Oh brain, from back in the old days, in Yu-Gi-Oh you wanted to be careful of getting blown out by a board wipe, but in Yu-Gi-Oh there's like one, there's Dark Hole. Like, Dark Hole was limited, Raigeki was banned, and that was it, and that was all you had to play around. This game, you get four your Dark Holes, which I think is good because, like, if it was just one, it would become way too sacky. Yu-Gi-Oh is a bit of a different case with how much prevention trap cards that there are, that and there's other ways to do board wipes. Dark Hole was just the most common, but you know. Shikamaru's here. I mean, that's better than the Jiraiya. It telegraphs that he has Inoshikacho, which it doesn't even have. If he can use the Shikamaru to kill the Naruto, it's pretty good value. I haven't summoned yet. Yeah, this Shikamaru is fine. I set my own Shikamaru, my second but not my third. And the reason you hold the third is because if I do get like Ino and I summon Ino and they try to like be sneaky by playing around me by not attacking, then I have a Shikamaru in hand to commit. That's the idea behind not setting the third Shikamaru, especially when you already have two set. It's a small thing, but that was a mistake, playing the Naruto before attacking. I should have attacked first. However, counterpoint, realistically there was no punish in this situation, I would say. Because, like, what were they going to do? Hinata the upright Naruto? Yes, that is what they do. But, like, if they're going to do that, then you'd think they would have Hinata the sideways Naruto. Not necessarily. They might just Shikamaru it. That's true. And they maybe could have used a Hinata on the upright Naruto after I attacked. But, like, if they do that, that's fine. That's what the Hinatas are for. So if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. It's still wrong to summon the Naruto first, but it's not like there was that many ways to punish it. There are some cases where summoning first is correct, I would say. This is not one of them. And they top deck the Choji, because they're god gamers. They start by playing the Choji, because they have this to play for turn. That's good, that's good. This is actually really good because they have the board wipe. It's actually not bad to end with the board wipe when you use Inoshikacho, especially if you still have this summon for the turn, because they played Ino last turn, because they're a god gamer, and played it before they even had the Inoshikacho, and it worked out. Although, I don't have as wide of a board as they would like if they're going to make an Inoshikacho play. I mean, if they're going to do a board wipe after Inoshikacho, they would want my board to be a bit wider. Because if they're going to make Inoshikacho and then go all face, and then board wipe, because that's the combo wombo, my board's not the widest, and so they're giving me a decent amount of value off that. But it's maybe worth. It sort of depends, right? They definitely don't board wipe if I clear their stuff. Unless I clear all their stuff. But the reason I didn't Hinata down the Ino is because, like, well, I have enough prevention. And I did. I Hinata down the Ino now. Could have done that last turn, but would have been worse than the board wipe, which they had. I let the Choji through. And that's the other thing, is that, you know, you might be, like, incentivized to, like, shotgun protection against this Choji. But it's not super important, because this is an easy card to clear, and you want to stay parity. If I had Shikamaru both of these, it's weak to board wipe, and they might have just board wiped. And they have double board wipe. And then they clear one of the Narutos. Which, this is another thing. If you want to clear one of these Narutos, send them both at the Naruto. The fact that he hit face first and then decided to hit the Naruto, that's a mistake. because I can prevent this now. If he had tried to hit the Naruto initially, and if he tried to hit the Naruto initially with both, and if I wanted to save it too badly, then I would have been summoning both my Shikamaru's, and then suddenly he's got a good board wipe. But because, you know, he didn't do that, it means his board wipe now, if he goes for it, is not amazing. I don't believe he goes for it. No, he just goes for the EX Naruto. This is a fine EX Naruto, don't get me wrong. But of course I didn't know he had the EX Naruto. Still though, if he had forced me to get both Shikamaru's, which I ended up using the other Shikamaru later on a 3 damage attack, which is worth more. So it's definitely right to have tried to kill this Naruto first, especially if he was going to open me up to a good board wipe. I might even let this through, actually. Like, if he had attacked once on the Naruto, in fact, I might have let the initial one through. Because if he hits both into the Naruto and I stop both, it's bad into board wipe. So I might just let the through, and then let him do the other one, and just hold both Shikamaru's. Is probably what I would have done. If he had attempted to swing the first one into the Naruto, I would have just let it through, most likely. Yeah, probably. And then he goes for the EX Naruto. And if he had done that, if he had just gone for this and killed it initially, I probably would have Shikamaru'd this, most likely. And then he doesn't have a second one. For some reason I thought he had a second one. Oh, that's right. What he does here is he Gamma Buntas after doing the EX Naruto. Without a Minato in trash. And that's just really aggressive on his end. I mean, to be fair, he didn't kill my Naruto, so it's a lot of damage he's taking. But do I agree with that? First of all, he pulled an EX Naruto out of the deck. Probably wrong. He wants to pull a regular Naruto out of the deck. But secondly, I feel like you use Gamma Bunta as a way to bridge into EX Naruto. I feel like doing the reverse is probably wrong, usually. It's like in this case. If he was going to go into Gamma Bunta, he could have tributed one of these to summon the Jiraiya from trash, for example. And then he could have tributed the Gamma Bunta plus the Shikamaru to summon the double EX Naruto. And that is higher value going to next turn, because that would give him 3 damage cards going into next turn. Granted, if he did that, he'd have one of them would be turned sideways, but that's fine, right? Because, well, the Shikamaru probably wants to go at that, and he doesn't want to Jiraiya that. So I can see the argument to doing it like this, but I think if you're going to do it like this, you just hold the Gamma Bunta. Because this is just opening yourself up to a board wipe, which you have no prevention for. Because if I just hit you in the face for 7 and then board wipe you, you feel sad. So I just don't think you make this play regardless. Personally, I wouldn't do it. I do have the board wipe. And I knew when I saw this that this is board wipe. Also, I attack with my Shikamaru second. Something I've been learning with the Sasuke deck is you actually want to attack with the less valuable card first. Because what you'll do, normally, with the Naruto deck, you just attack with the more valuable card first, and then you attack with the least valuable card second, and if there's any other valuable cards, you leave them. Because you want to get a value hit in first, and then if they're going to Jiraiya trap you, you make your second attack a weenie attack, so that it's gimping the weenie value. Whereas if you put the first attack the weenie attack, they can stop the higher damage from the second attack. However, in this case, I was always going to attack with this Naruto as well, right? So I feel like if they have the Jiraiya trap, they should probably be holding it until I attack with this, so that they can get, you know, better value off of the prevention. They were maybe afraid of, like, I don't know, Gamma Bunta or an EX Naruto, but if I had that, I wouldn't have wasted the 1 damage. I would have just, like, went straight into it if that was the plan, but the plan was just for me to board wipe this. So I didn't care when they did this, and it meant I got more value off of my Naruto attacking. But yeah, if you play Sasuke, I don't know if I finished explaining this, you attack with the weaker card first, because the second card, the stronger card, when you attack with them, and they try to use their trap on you, if you have Suigetsu, you can use Suigetsu on the thing that attacked second to ensure the guy who attacked second gets their attack through. And that's why you want to attack with the stronger guy second when you have the Suigetsu set up. And that's also a way you can read your opponent. If your opponent's playing Sasuke and they attack with the weaker guy first, which most people, I think, have gotten on the level of you should attack with the stronger guy first to play around the trap. But there's a level above that of you should attack with the weaker guy first if you're playing Sasuke and have the Suigetsu. So you can maybe read that the opponent has the Suigetsu if you see them attacking in that order. Of course, the level above that is someone playing the Sasuke attacks with the weaker guy first, even though they don't have the Sasuke to mess with their opponent's mind. Granted, depending on their opponent's hand, that might be a stupid idea, or depending on their hand, but you know, it's a bluff to consider. That's a very high-level bluffing, but, you know, it might be worth something, some point. And yeah, they could have just easily stopped that 3 damage with the Jiraiya, or stopped 2 damage and been at 10 health if they did not use it on the Shikamaru. But anyways, now I just board wipe. I reset my chakra. I commit 1 Shikamaru. Right, I considered summoning here, but it's like, if I get an Ino, I could get Ino Shikacho value. I don't ever want to set my Choji because of how the app is set up right now. Unless it's a real late game scenario where setting the Choji might cause like me to put them in check, but that's such a specific scenario. And then the Shikamaru, it's nice to have 3 sets, but again, it's like, it's kind of redundant having that many Shikamarus, so. What did they draw? They drew another board wipe. They have all the board wipes. Right, I go for the Minato. And this is where we do have lethal if they have nothing. Which... That's right! This was the game where they had nothing. They had 3 board wipes. And earlier I said they had a decent... If we go back... This is something else that is such a hard skill, is play the cards you have. That sounds so simple, but if you hold something for an ideal situation for that card, and then the ideal situation never comes up, but you just keep drawing multiples of that card, you get screwed by running into situations where it's never ideal, but you're not getting, like, you don't get any prevention, you just get these, so you have to use them when it's kind of good, like, just to be safe, you know? This is something I struggle with sometimes, too, where I'm like, this is not the best value for this card, and then I just draw more copies of it, and I'm like, oh, no, now a good situation. Before it was decent, but it wasn't great. Now I'm not even seeing a decent situation. Oh, no, now I have all of these, and I can't use any of them, and I lose. That's something you have to... It's a really tough skill, I would say. But I do think, earlier, right here, when I Hinata his Ino... I mean, at this point, I think he should try to clear the Naruto, but if he fails to... When he sees this, after I Shikamaru him, this is when I think you take a look that you realize I have the Gamma Bunta, so it is still possible for me to go into this. In fact, I still have my summon for the turn. I should board wipe, get rid of his nonsense, and then, you know, if I want to go into the Gamma Bunta this turn, I can. Actually, I could either just summon this, or I could go into EX Naruto. I think you just summon this, because the opponent will have nothing at this point, so you open yourself up to a board wipe if you go into EX Naruto. It's not great. So you probably just summon this. As long as you keep the Gamma Bunta, you can always EX Naruto next turn. I think he definitely should have used one of these board wipes here. Instead, he just went into the EX Naruto and let me keep everything. I think that's very wrong. And eventually he just got clogged on 3 board wipes, which is where the game ended. And then boom. And death. Okay, and then I thought to myself, could he have multiple board wipes? Like, what else is it? Kakashi's? Did he never have an opportunity for a Kakashi? It really was 3 board wipes. And then if we look at this one. This was not a good opening hand for me, but we managed to turn it around. I think our draws were good. What did Macross get? Oh, by the way, who went first in the last game? I want to take a look at who mulliganed each game. Renegade keeps their hand. I went second in this game. And Macross, their opening hand was weak because they had... It was okay. It depends a lot on what their first draw is. Which this was their first draw. It's not good, but they can fake that it's good. I guess it depends on what their next draw is. What's their next draw? Okay. Because of how this draw was, it sort of fixed them and gave them, like, a real game. Yeah. And then what about... In the next one, I went first, so we switched sides. And now Macross is the one who gets the chance to mulligan. They did take a mulligan. I was going to say, you don't keep this. It's interesting, because you do have two Gamabuntas. You actually are not breaking on normal summons here, but Choji is not a real back row. Kakashi is preventative of someone using a support, but you want to get ahead to use this, and how are you getting ahead if you have no preventative back row? And then this is okay, but like, you really want Shikamaru, Hinata, Jiraiya. I think that if you had 2 copies of this, you can maybe get away with it. You really want one of Shikamaru, Hinata, Jiraiya. Like, one of them plus maybe the board wipe Naruto is good enough. It depends on what the hand is. But if you have none of those, you really, I think, want a mulligan. So I would agree with this. And the hand gets much better. My hand is comparatively weaker in the open. Which is maybe why this turned into a nail biter. We'll see. What do they start with? They start by setting Hinata. Setting a Jiraiya. Didn't they play nothing this turn? Oh, that's a mistake. So first of all, this is just a case of you don't set Choji right now. That's just the state of the game is in right now. Do not set Choji. Second of all, play the Minato. I understand the logic of, oh, well, I'm not getting the value from it because it can't attack this turn. That doesn't matter. Play it. Because you might want to normal summon something else next turn, and it just means you don't have to waste chakra on it attacking next turn. Yes, ideally you'll have something else to summon instead, but if you have nothing else, summoning the Minato now, instead of waiting till next turn, is better. So, this was bad. They should have summoned the Minato immediately. Also, setting the Choji is bad. I would have considered... I guess it's fine. No, they have 2 Chojis, and they're never gonna set these. I mean, they did, but they shouldn't. So I think setting the second Jiraiya is also fine. The Hinata this. That seems fine. You want to hold the Shikamaru in case you get an Ino Shikacho value, so that's fine. Oh, I made a mistake here. I was supposed to hit face first. Stupid play. Me being stupid. Ignore me. Do they do anything here? They do. They do the Jiraiya trap. That's bad. That's right. That's why I said in the game. The Hinata was fine. They should not have Jiraiya here. This is not enough value. You can get a lot of value from this in this matchup. Don't use this here. That's bad. Especially because he has Shikamaru. Shikamaru into Jiraiya is a really good combo. You can Shikamaru to prevent the first attack and give you the value of the Shikamaru, but also you still get full value from the Jiraiya by killing 2 rested cards. It's a good 1-2 combo, and you have the potential for it. Don't waste the Jiraiya. Granted, you do have 2 Jiraiya's, but you already used a Hinata. So maybe the idea that they had in their head is, oh, well, I have a second Jiraiya, so it's okay to use one like this? I don't think it's worth it. Enough opportunities will come up to use these. Don't waste this here. That's what I would say. I set my own back row. This is looking similar to how their open was in the last game where they started with 2 board wipes, I believe. Yeah. Right, there's an argument. What did I play? I summoned Minato and I attacked with it. Right, the argument is to just go immediately into Gamabunta Dio. That's... You do want to go for, like, EX Narutos as soon as possible, but, like, you want some value before you lead into them. So I don't think it's wrong to go for an attack here and see if it connects. As long as I keep the Gamabunta, I know it can always connect into the EX Naruto anyways. What'd they get? Right, they got a board wipe, they set it, they summoned the Minato, which they should have just summoned last turn, because now that would have let them summon the vanilla Naruto this turn. And I let that through because I have to. Yeah. They set the Jiraiya trap. They could have summoned the Naruto here, that would have been bad for me. Granted, if they did that, I would have board wiped them for sure, but it is what it is. I go for an attack. Right. And now, that's right, this is where I go for an Ino, and I decide, like, I don't have any prevention. I would like to clear this Minato. I don't want to waste a board wipe just on a Minato. So, I'm going to go for it, especially because I have 2 EX Narutos. But, Gamabunta is my only link into EX Naruto. So, I feel a little weird about this. Because I was maybe supposed to not bring back Minato. I talked about this. If I don't bring back Minato, I can fake that I have the Jiraiya trap. I don't, but I can fake that I do. and I can go immediately into EX Naruto instead of but yeah, but then I can't kill their Minato, which is the whole point. I mean, I can kill their Minato with the EX Naruto, but that's pretty bad value. I do want to summon the EX Narutos as soon as possible because my hand is already bricky. This is a tough situation, I'd mentioned that. I think because the situation is so tough, you just try to get the fuller value. Because, like, you want to clear the Minato, but you don't want to waste the EX Naruto clearing the Minato. Because the EX Naruto will always be a negative no matter when you use it. So use it at a good timing. But you do want to debrick your deck and start getting the damage in as soon as possible. But, like, you want some value from it. If I pump up the Minato and then sack them for an EX Naruto, I could clear one. But then if he has removal for my EX Naruto, I can't link into the other one anyways. And yeah, if he removes the EX Naruto that's attacking into the Minato, we didn't even successfully clear the Minato. And the whole thing was a waste. I think I was right. I think playing it this way was right. Using the Gamma Bunta is weird here, because it means I don't have a consistent link into EX Naruto going to later turns. That's why it feels so wrong. But, like, you have to, right? It's like, if the opponent... I have the board wipes. So if they screw me here, and they commit more on the next turn, then I have the board wipe for next turn to equalize. I even have double. So I think I was right. It's a weird turn, and it's weird because I have the EX Naruto's hand, and I'm just leaving them with no way to link into them. I'm giving up my Gamma Bunta as a way to link into them. But I think because of the board wipes, because of how specific the situation is, I think I played this correctly. It's a debate, for sure. But I think it was right. I think this is right. They draw an EX Naruto here. They go for an attack. I let it through. What could I have done? That's right, still nothing. I've still drawn no preventative. Maybe that's why this game ended up so close. They had preventative in the early game, I didn't. Right, they summoned a Naruto. Right, and now they're going for... They're just going for their EX Naruto value. Do I agree with this? No, I don't. Why are you wasting... Why are you wasting your fatty Naruto? If you're gonna do this, I feel like you summon a Choji and just give up the Choji. You have another Choji if you draw Ino for the Ino Shikacho play. I guess the idea is that he already has a second vanilla in hand, and so he's like, let's just get one of them out. But you get more value by sacking the Choji and using these for later turns. Granted, you could brick on them later, but Choji does not do much without the Ino Shikacho combo right now, except give you the ability to link into EX Naruto. But if you're going into EX Naruto now anyways, you have a second Choji if you draw another EX Naruto, I think you just summon the Choji. I'm not saying you spend chakra on it. You could, but that's making yourself too wide and too susceptible to a board wipe, so no. But you could. And also, don't they end up playing the Choji this turn anyways? Or am I thinking of something else? No, they didn't. I thought they did. I must be thinking of something else. I think they should just put the Choji in this case. It is weird because you have another Naruto in hand, but I think it's correct to commit the Choji here. Probably. And in this case, notice how this far into the game, I've still never drawn to any prevention, which is why I have to board wipe here. Thankfully, they don't have a Kakashi or anything. Even if they did, though, I do have double board wipe. So we're mostly okay. Unless they had double Kakashi, that would be really bad. But there's an argument to using Gamma Bunta to attack the EX Naruto in case, you know, they have the Kakashi. But that's so bad. You can't do that, right? Because here's what you do. If they have the double Kakashi and they actually get away with it, I still have my summon for the turn, so I can still attack into this. Yeah. And then I can link into EX Naruto if I need to. So I think it's correct to just Gamma Bunta, go face, try to board wipe, rather than waste the Gamma Bunta attack only to find out they didn't have, like, they might just prevent the Gamma Bunta attack, right? So, like, they didn't, but they might just do that. Anyways, I think, yeah. Because, like, if they don't prevent the Gamma Bunta attack, that's the thing. If I'm able to keep parity and I have more life, I would probably just leave them with their EX Naruto. But I have no prevention. I'm always going to board wipe. I think it's correct to go face here. Even though normally I would want to clear a body. In this case, no prevention. I'm too low on life. I'm always going to board wipe no matter what. So definitely go face. I summon the Minato. This is a good Minato because they have no body on board to attack back. And if I can't EX Naruto here, I can always try it on a later turn. And they had a Shikamaru for this, but they didn't go for it. I don't know if they're holding this for Inoshikacho or there's like 2 damage is not great value. It's probably correct either way of thinking. I do Choji here. I had to flip my chakra. This is fine because I have no real back row. It does again show that I have no Jiraiya trap, but I think that's fine. I think it's definitely correct to go into the EX Naruto here. A previous me probably would have been like, this isn't good enough value, but it's definitely good enough value, because you're replacing a 1 damage and a 2 damage or 2-3 damages, you're getting it in immediately, and you're debrecking your deck when I'm drawing too many vanillas. It also showed me that I had a bunch of board wipes coming up, which is something you can do currently. Which, I think, because in Gen Con, apparently they said that you're just allowed to see, you're just allowed to you don't shuffle. Granted, that might change by the time the official game came out. It might just be like that because that was like, they were showing demos, and they're like, don't change the order of the deck for a demo. I don't know. That's just what I've heard. It was not actually there. Interesting. They didn't stop either of these, even though they could have Shikamaru to stop one. That feels probably wrong. I know they're thinking they're going to board wipe, but it's a lot of damage they're taking. I feel like you consider Shikamaruing because Shikamaru could clear the Naruto on the next turn. Granted, you're going to have to deal with this anyway, so I get the instinct, but 3 is so low that I might have Shikamaru'd there just to prevent the damage, even if you're going to board wipe. I probably would have Shikamaru'd on the first one, most likely on the first one. It doesn't really change anything, but you'd be 3 life higher, and you're just too low. 3 is so dangerous. It's also putting you in territory where you might not be able to Kakashi anymore, that when I did the first EX Naruto, I certainly would have Shikamaru'd here, because you're not so low that you need to board wipe this, I would say. You Shikamaru this so that you can use your chakra to use Shikamaru hit over the EX Naruto. If that fails, you can board wipe. Yeah. And then once the second one happens, then, like, yeah, maybe you are just going to board wipe regardless, but I think you probably should have already Shikamaru'd. That's my thinking. And hey, if he already Shikamaru'd, he would have had Inoshikacho this turn. I've been there. I've been there where I'm like, I should hold my Shikamaru for more valuable timing. And then he just did not. Like, he drew into the Ino, and if he had Shikamaru'd, he could have Inoshikacho'd. For double value, even. Would I have lost the game? For sure I would have. I had no counter. I had absolutely no counter. Wow, that's gotta feel bad for him. If he had Shikamaru'd, and he had Inoshikacho, that would have been, well, yeah, 3, 5, 7, 9 damage. Which, if I had anything to prevent, I could have reduced it to 6 damage so I wouldn't lose the game this turn. But I had nothing to prevent. So how do you play this? He goes for the Rasengan, of course. And then he summons the Naruto. He summons the Choji. I think you hold the Choji for Inoshikacho value. For sure you do. Because you can just double Choji on the next turn when you go for Inoshikacho. This is definitely wrong. You should not be wasting your Choji like this. And then he Gamma Buntas over the Naruto. That's crazy. If you're going to do the Choji, you buff the Choji and Gamma Bunta over the Choji so that you can get Naruto. This was the game where he kept the Choji on board, where he should have sacked the Choji. This was wrong. Then he hit me in the face. But yeah, if he had gone for Inoshikacho there, he definitely would have won. Which, I mean, with how this game has gone, I've still, so far, by the way, no prevention. I've drawn no prevention this far in. This is just a case of where he has drawn better than me. And if he had Inoshikacho'd, I would have just lost. But I managed to turn around by using my... Use what you got, right? I used the board wipes at timely fashions, and it just ended up... And I had the EX Narutos to get some gas in. And they didn't Shikamaru when they probably should have. And so I managed to turn it around. And like I knew I was going to get more board wipes. So of course I board wipe immediately. But then can't they still win? Oh, that's right. I don't attack this turn. They get kind of screwed. I have to reset my chakra, and I don't attack this turn. So they have no opportunity to use their Shikamaru. Oh, that's gotta feel so bad. Now they have 2 Inos, and they just can't do anything with it. Oh, that's so sad. I've been there. I've been there. I'm like, just attack me. But it's too late. They don't get a chance for it, because on my turn now... Actually, they do get a chance for it. But I have another board wipe. That's right. They use the Shikamaru, but now I'm in a position where I'm just going to board wipe. Granted, if they had the Shikamaru before, would I have board wiped? I'll have to think about that. But I definitely board wipe here. When I summon another Ino. And now that Ino Shikacho is gone, they summon their Jiraiya, they reset. And yeah, now this goes on for a little while, because they keep drawing prevention. If I Lightning Blade here, they did have another thing of prevention. So I have to let it through. Because I can't Lightning Blade until it wins me the game at this point. I decide to summon the Hinata. I could have instead summoned the Kakashi, because Hinata will destroy something. Whereas the Kakashi, like, the argument is that I'm so low on life, I'm probably not going to make use of the Kakashi, whereas the Hinata can keep killing things. The argument with Kakashi is it can, like, it can just get me there faster. I don't know. Maybe I should summon the Kakashi there. I'm not actually 100% sure which is correct. Because Hinata gives me another prevention of an attack. But Kakashi can, if I know that they have not enough back row, I can use this to ensure it pushes lethal through. And this is such a dicey scenario that giving them one extra turn could lose everything. It's tough. I feel like neither one is correct, and it's just a judgment call. There might be some math person out there that's like, based on what's in your deck and what's in their deck, it's actually statistically correct, but I don't know. What did they draw? Oh, they drew more prevention. And hey, they can Ino Shikacho again, but I still have board wipes. How many have I gone through? I've gone through 3, and I have the 4th. They probably felt weird about that. A Hinata this, because I have to. They summon the Naruto. Right, and because they have Ino Shikacho potentially, they end up Shikamaruing my Hinata attack, which feels odd. It certainly feels odd. I didn't actually think anything of it. But I still board wipe anyways. I'm pretty sure. Oh, and then they Jiraiya here. That's a bad Jiraiya. Like, you're using this to kill this? Really? I guess because they're trying to play around, they're trying to play around the idea that I could go into, like, a Gamabunta here. But they're using all their chakra. If I have a Gamabunta, don't I have a Minato in trash? I just win the game instantly if I Gamabunta. I haven't summoned yet. They could be playing around an EX Naruto. But if I have an EX Naruto, I wouldn't even attack with a Hinata. Because they'd be close enough to death that I would just go into the EX Naruto. So that feels like a bad Jiraiya. But yeah, I definitely... And also, the Jiraiya convinced me that Rasenganing was definitely correct, which they don't want me to do because they have an Ino Shikacho combo. So you definitely don't Jiraiya there, I would say. If I lost... Would I have still used the Rasengan? I'm pretty sure I would have. Because, I want to put them in check. And I don't want to deal with any of their nonsense. And if they had the Ino Shikacho, I was super dead. And then what did they have? Oh, they had an EX Naruto. Wait. Right, they have the EX Naruto, but I have the prevention for it. And then they have nothing, yeah. Yeah, they could have won that earlier if their Ino Shikacho at the right time. Anyways. So. Do we want to keep going with Naruto, or should we switch it up and play Sasuke? Let's play some Sasuke. Sure. Let's play some Sasuke. I've not played any Sasuke on stream, right? So why not? I'll tell you why not. Personally, I like playing Naruto more, but also I tend to be sweaty when I play Sasuke because that's my main ranking deck. Oh, wait, my gosh. It's Destiny Riku. I know Destiny Riku. I've heard of them. Sasuke takes more thinking as well. which is one of the reasons why I'm afraid I'm going to play badly when I play it on stream. We just play Jugo turn 1. And then we just end turn. And I don't know, are we supposed to set our Suigetsus? Because with Choji, you just never set it. But with Suigetsu, with Choji, you just never set it. But with Suigetsu, you probably want to set it to protect your thing, right? Now, hold on. Let's make sure we don't be stupid. Leader effect first. What's our summon for the turn? Our summon is going to be Itachi, so that we can block his attack, and we're going to put Sasuke on top of our deck. Sasuke just takes more thinking, so it's more stressful partially to play on stream as well. Oh yeah, we can't block anything with Itachi if we're doing this. This is more valuable though, I would say. We have sort of prevention. I'm gonna Hinata my Jugo, that's fine. And they're gonna Shikamaru at the same time. That's fine. Why would you do both? Oh, interesting. They Hinata'd the thing that I popped out instead. Huh. I wonder if they're setting up for Inoshika-cho. There's no way that I Manda on a whim. I'm not that kind of player. Itachi is probably my summon for turn. We can use Itachi to see if my Manda is live. Yeah, that's an idea. Hold on, let's attack first. Because I don't mind whiffing the Itachi, and I was going to play it anyways. And we can use this to see what's on top of our deck. That's a cool strat. Let's see if we can block the Naruto. It failed. Summoned Itachi. Reveals Manda. Well, we know not to play Manda. So that's unfortunate. If it had hit EX Sasuke, cool. If it had hit something else, but no. Okay. I'd like to protect my Jugo. Do we do a full 5 set? I normally don't do a full 5 set, but I think I'm going to do it in this case. Because I think everything here is potentially useful. I'd like to protect my Jugo if possible. I'd like to prevent a board wipe if he gets a board wipe opportunity. It looks like he might be Inoshika-choing, because that was such a weird Hinata into Shikamaru. Like, why not just use Shikamaru? Why use Hinata as well? That feels weird. I'm out of water. I've drank all my water. My throat might get parched during this game. Pressure's on for Destiny Riku. They don't want to lose to me live on stream and have me commenting about all their misplays. I can make fun of them forever. Yeah. They're thinking. They just set a new back row. Also, I never noticed a Choji stall, so I don't think they have Choji. Oh, they just played it from hand. They're buffing their Naruto. Because they're gonna go for an Ino. That's fine. I'm not gonna Koto a Choji. I mean, yeah, they have Ino. I expected as much based on how they played, but it's fine. They're gonna Naruto first. It's a lot of damage. They've already summoned for the turn. They have one card left in hand. I'm going to chaw that. That feels like a mistake. I'll resolve that. And now when the Ino attacks... Interesting. I wouldn't want to Cha a Choji. I think we just let them do that. That's fine. And then we'll use this here. They could try to Lightning Blade if they do whatever. We can attack into them to deal with their stuff, so... We leave the Choji because we can attack into that. They are going to Lightning Blade. I will let them Lightning Blade. I don't think it's super important to prevent that. Although in that case... We're going to have to hit into them. We'll play Bite Me. I'm going to Bite Me because then the Bite Me can kill the Shikamaru. He actually attacked there, which means his back row isn't really real. I kind of need to know what my face down stuff is. I need to know what's on top of my deck, but I think I'm going to attack first. Because, like, how bad is it if... He's not going to be able to stop everything. He only has 2 chakra. I do kind of want to know what's on top of my deck, but I think I am going to attack first. We start by taking out the... We take out the Ino first, for sure. He's gonna Shikamaru to prevent that. Okay, that's fine. Is that fine? Because he can potentially do another Ino Shikacho. But there's no way I can Koto here. If I was gonna Koto, I should have... Huh. Okay. Let's see what's on top of my deck. That's so fucking bad. Okay, we have to put Itachi... Well... Yeah, we have to put Itachi here. And then we have to try to, like, Manda Chain. And then... Yeah, here's what we'll do. We will attack into the Shikamaru. I'm gonna play Amanda. Because this is... Yeah. I'm gonna play Amanda. I'm gonna see what it gives me. And then we'll try to block the Ino. Oh, cool. What did I get? Itachi Uchiha reveals Itachi Uchiha. Cool. Now, I want to be careful about board wipes. So I don't want to play another Manda. I know it's another Itachi Uchiha, so I could play it, but... if he already can't attack, maybe I'm supposed to recover and flip my chakra. That way I can Koto if he goes for a board wipe. Nah, I'll just attack and kill the Choji. You can't stop it. What are you thinking about? I don't want to play... I could play another Manda here, but the Itachi might not hit, and that puts me pretty weak into board wipe. So I think I'm going to hold my other board wipes. You kind of want to shotgun them, though, because you don't want to brick on your board wipes. We have a Koto, but there's no way we're Kotoing on no chakra. So I think I just end turn here. He might Choji again, but we already locked down one of his Inos, and we have a Sakura, which we probably end up using. But we have to see the opportunity. We probably don't use the Sakura. We let that through. Although we could bounce it. We could bounce it because it ensures that we can Itachi him next turn. And if he summons an EX Naruto, I don't want to bounce that anyways. I am going to play Cha here. Because this way I can ensure that I can use one of the Itachis, because I know an Itachi is on top of my deck, and I can use Manda next turn if I need to as well, depending on what I draw. Okay. That's a very wide board. I have a guaranteed Itachi. Now we probably want to kill the Shikamaru. We're definitely going to recover here, so we can just do that now. We should probably see what's on top of our deck. We're going to put the Itachi on the top of our deck so we can Itachi into another Itachi. Now, I need to... Do I clear the 6-4 or do I just go face? The 6-4 is not super threatening, but we have no board wipe. And if he does get another, like, Choji or something, suddenly it becomes threatening. And you can always use it to clear stuff. I think I will go for the kill on it. Manda can't be Hinata, so you normally Manda attack first if you have it. They let it through. Now, we don't have any kind of prevention if they go for the Jiraiya trap. And it's possible. But we still have the summon for the turn, so I think it's fine. And I might Koto anyways. Granted, I could have Monded first, to be fair. I could have Monded first. But they took it, so they probably don't have the Jiraiya trap. And I could have played around them having the Jiraiya trap, so I think it's fine. Now we'll summon this. Prevent this from attacking. And then we'll summon this too. And then we'll see if we can prevent the Ino from attacking. Or, the Gamma Bunta. Because he can't probably get Ino Shigacho. We'll see. What did I reveal? Reveal Sasuke or Chi. I've got a vanilla Sasuke. Okay. We'll set. We'll set. And we will end. That's fine. We don't want to make the board wipe too juicy. That's also probably fine. I think that is fine. Because if he EX Naruto's, then he could do that anyways because he still has a summon for the turn. He's going to board wipe. So that was one reason why I didn't go for that. He's opening himself up to a really big Koto. And it's not a bad time to Koto. I'll Koto. I'll Koto. And he's going to pay 2 damage to negate that. That's fine. Alright. We gotta see what's on top of the deck. A Sakura. I probably want to summon a Manda board. That means getting rid of my... I could also hold the Manda for next turn and just summon a Sasuke. play this a little bit slower. Yeah, I think I will play this a little slower. We'll attack face. Summon Sasuke. And I will set the Cha. Because we're low on life. Normally, I might use the Sakura as a sacrifice to get a Manda play going. And this isn't a bad time for that, but... Thinking... I don't really want to take that 3. They haven't summoned yet, though. I'll hurry up and bite. Because I can potentially summon over this with Manda next turn. What's the top deck? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. This is tough. Do you go for face damage? We do have preventatives. So we could just go for face damage here. I don't want to go too wide, though. I think I'm going to hold the Manda, because we're already putting him in a check situation. Then again, we do have a Koto. Okay, I think I will... He's probably going to prevent something, though, so I'm going to put the Orochimaru on top. Because he probably is going to prevent something. He let that through. But he might stop the other one. Because he might have the double trap. I think I will summon this here, because I want to be able to summon this while preserving my Karin. He did have it. We'll let that through. That's fine. We're going to set this. And if possible, I would like to preserve all my chakra. Because this is I'm going to have to use... Yeah, I'm just going to recovery. As much as I... Yeah, I'm going to recovery here. This is a debate to be made, but I think it's correct. Now, I could use the Sakura. It looks like they're bricked up a little bit on summons. So I could Sakura here. Like, hurry up and bite me is good, but I don't want to open myself up too much to a board wipe. No, this is a good Karin. Plus, we have Koto. I'm going to hurry up and bite me. And then we go for this. If he Lightning Blades, he's very close to dead. Granted, maybe I was supposed to attack last turn to put him in a check position if he Lightning Blades. But then I wouldn't have all this chakra, so... It's tough, right? Okay. Now if he board wipes, we just Koto him and win, so... I think it's fine to Cha and not worry about whatever he's doing. I'm pretty sure I just have this now. Oh, he's buffing my Orochimaru. Yeah, okay, we have this, because we just said whatever. I'm just gonna write GG to the Destiny Riku. Because I don't believe, even if he has something, I think that nothing stops me, because I still have, I can even let that through. But I'll stop it anyways. Just to show him that I had it. He got bullied live on stream. Bullied live on stream in 4K. I'm gonna look at his perspective and see how bricked it was. He said it was clogged. That's the Naruto problem. Okay, I want to look at that. How long have we been going? A decent while. I might stop soon. That might have been a good game to stop on anyways. A nice game of bullying Riku. How clogged was he, I wonder? Okay, so he plays Naruto, he sets Shikamaru, sets that, sets everything, yeah. My turn. Attack with Jugo. He Hinata's my Sasuke. This is an interesting choice. Because I would normally be, like, I would normally just Hinata the Jugo. Because it could just get more value on later turns. I didn't really have a hand to do that. But I think the thinking is that he'll clear the Jugo on my turn. But see, he ends up using the Shikamaru as well. This feels like what I was talking about. This feels too in love with the Ino. You don't even have Ino Shikacho. Wait a second. What are you doing? He draws into it. Hold on. He draws into it. This is wrong. I'm going to bully you, Riku. If you had Choji, I might have defended this, but I was still going to say you were too in love with the Ino Shikacho combo. I was going to say that using both of these is so telegraphed that you have Ino Shikacho, because otherwise you're just being so wasteful. I guess the idea is that, oh, you're Hinata-ing the Sasuke, but you're also Shikamaru-ing the Jugo. And I guess the idea is that you have another Shikamaru later for an Ino Shikacho value. But, like, and I guess I don't, but I know you have the Shikamaru to kill my Jugo, so it's not even like I have a bad Rasengan play. I don't have it, but it's what I was considering. You didn't even have Ino Shikacho. You were just like, let me prevent his Jugo attack, which is only 2 damage, so it's not super important to prevent. But also let me kill his 3 damage guy with Hinata. I feel like doing both is just a little committal on your part. I guess his idea is that he has 2 Shikamaru, so if he draws a Choji, he already has an Ino, so he can go for Ino Shikacho, and if he doesn't, he has the second Shikamaru. I guess that's the perspective. But he gets so lucky, he draws into the Choji. I guess the idea is that he's gonna kill the Chugo with his Shikamaru. It just feels like he's using too much of his back row too early. I suppose I get the logic, but you can use the Shikamaru to prevent the 3 damage guy on the next turn anyways. So I feel like you can Hinata the Jugo, and then later use the Shikamaru on the 3 damage guy to prevent 3 damage instead of 2 damage. I guess the idea is if he Hinatas it right away, but you don't know for sure you're going to kill this. I might have back row to stop that. And if I have back row to stop that, I keep my Jugo and can keep doing Jugo things. And you don't know that you're going to get the Choji, and if you don't get the Choji, you only have 2 attacks. That's potentially very stoppable with my back row. You do have the Kakashi, to be fair. He does have the Kakashi, but I still think this is a little too committal too early, all at once, if that makes sense. I feel like it's generally better to slow roll your stuff when you have a lot of removal. Pick your battles, because the more you commit, the more you make yourself open. I thought for sure he had Ino Shikacho, because he was using 2. I guess one of them was stopping Jugo, and one of them was stopping the 3 attack. And so that's why it wasn't just 2 on 1, it was 1 on each. I don't want to say it's stupid, but I probably wouldn't have done it. What did I reveal? Mondo. Right, because I used Jugo to play a thing. Now we get their turn. They top deck into the oh, they had a second Kakashi. I don't think I ever saw them use this from Kakashi. I think they got screwed on that. Where they just were never able to use it. Summon their Ino. They go for their value. Wait a second. Yeah, they use their summon card in the Ino. I was thinking of a different game where somebody had the Ino and then was able to summon afterwards. Naruto. I Sakura back their Naruto. I let that through. I was like, Jugo's a strong card. But again, don't fall too in love with it. Because I know I want to use this on the Shikamaru and the Ino. And if I try to use it on the Shikamaru and the Choji, they still have the Ino to clear my Jugo anyway. So don't fall too in love with your cards. Even if Jugo's a strong card, don't fall too in love with it. And now I use this. And of course they're going to Lightning Blade. This is not a bad Lightning Blade. And they do even have a second Lightning Blade. They never end up using the second one, though. But when I see that, I'm like, I need the Karin. And they don't Lightning Blade the additional Karin. Which makes sense. Karin's not the strongest play, but they are pretty clearable at this point. Because they're all sideways, which is what I talked about at the beginning of the stream. Where Ino Shikacho, it seems great, you get to hit a bunch of things in the face, but then they're all sideways. And if your opponent has a decent-sized board, they can just clear your stuff. So it's not necessarily as much value as you think it is. Granted, the Shikamaru into potentially a stronger Ino Shikacho play next turn is pretty great, but... And this triple Manda, not great. I kill the 6-4. I see if what I get is good. Oh, right. What did they have? Oh, they just have another Lightning Blade. Right. I considered, because I end up attacking... I end up putting myself in position where if I get Jiraiya trapped... Actually, I was pretty screwed if they Jiraiya trapped here, wasn't I? No, they couldn't. They couldn't. They had no chakra. Which, by the way, did they have to reload their chakra? Did they hit me in the face? I don't think they should have hit me in the face, because that let me be greedy. I suppose they had nothing, but it sort of reveals that they have nothing. But yeah, they Shikamaru me, and now I know I don't have to worry about the Jiraiya trap. Otherwise, I probably would have went straight into the Manda. But it lets me clear their 6-4 without worrying. And it lets me... and I might have even summoned over the 8-8, but now I don't have to worry because I know they don't have a trap. I got lucky with the Itachi. I killed the Jiraiya. Or killed the Choji. And what do they got? They reset their chakra. Yeah, it makes sense. They go for the Itachi attack. Right, and I reset my own Itachi. I'm proud of this, because I have double Manda and I might be bricked up. I know I have an Itachi on top of my deck. I like that play. I like it whenever I find a good opportunity to use Sakura on my own cards. And they let it through. If they didn't, I might have been in a bad spot. I forget what my next draw is. We'll see. Because I ended up using that Itachi pretty well. Why are they doing double... Did they have no other targets? Oh, they didn't. That's pretty bad value. Okay. Why did they do that? Hold on. Why did they do that? This is what I was talking about. You're using Gamabunta like it's Manda. Like, you see your opponent has a decent board, so you want to, like, check their board. I don't think that's good here. I don't think that's good here. Because your Manda's not doing anything. It's not turning your Naruto from sideways... Your Gamabunta's not doing anything. It's not turning your Gamabunta from sideways into forwards, for starters. It's not playing around the double trap. It's not letting you link into EX Naruto. All it's doing is making a bit of a wider board so that you can maybe contest their wideish board. My board's not that wide. When you do this and you play the Gamabunta, you're opening yourself up to board wipe, which I've used none of. And I haven't used a Koto either, which means, yes, you have Kakashi, but it's still pretty open to getting board wiped. Do I draw board wipe? I'm pretty sure I do, but I only get one, if memory serves. I think that's definitely a mistake, Gamabunta. I would not do that if I were them. They're on 2 chakra as well, which they somehow put themselves at, because... And now they can't use this and the Kakashi in the same turn. Another reason they should not have gone for the Gamabunta. I already think it was a bad play, but that makes it worse. My turn, I have to reset the chakra. And then I top deck into board... No, when did I get the board wipe? Not yet, apparently. But I know I have an Itachi. This is a play I might not have made previously, where like, do I clear the 6-4, which only can do 1 damage, with something that can do 2 damage? But I think it's right, because they got a pretty wide board, and if they get another Choji, they can do some combo wombo stuff. And it's not like I can clear their Ino this turn, so I think it's right to clear Shikamaru. Now, interesting. See? They didn't use Jiraiya because they were afraid of a board wipe. And they're like, they're going to board wipe me for sure. But if you had just not summoned the Gamabunta, you wouldn't have been as worried about that, and you would have just used the Jiraiya trap. I'm bullying you live on stream, Riku. That was a mistake. Don't put yourself in that position in the first place. But also, would I have really attacked your Shikamaru if I was going to board wipe? Wouldn't I have just hit face? So I don't know. I think you probably should use the Jiraiya trap. But, you see, I thought for sure they didn't have it when they didn't use it there. Because I had a backup plan in my hand, but that told me that they didn't have it, which I was wrong about, so... Because I was able to Itachi down one of their things, and I had prevention in the hand, so I'm like, I don't need to be too worried about playing around it. I could have, by Mondaing over, like, the first thing I attack with, I could have played around it. But by attacking first, I tricked them into thinking I was going to board wipe, and they kept their Kakashi live, so maybe it all worked out correctly anyways. There's definitely a debate, though, that I was supposed to Manda before my second attack. I had 2 Mandas. I probably do want to get one out of the hand. I was going to do it anyways. I would have just summoned the Itachi and then Manda'd. But you want to Manda over something that's sideways, right? So I probably, you know, as much as I talk myself up, what I should have done after attacking once is I should have Itachi'd something and then Manda'd so that I get my second Itachi out the deck and then attack. That way I do play around the double trap. I think I am supposed to play around the double trap here. I want to keep my board wide. Granted, I could Koto if they go for the double trap, but I don't know if I would have wanted to Koto in that position. I think ultimately, I'm not punished too heavily for this mistake of not playing around the double trap, but I think I was supposed to play around the double trap. But I think I have enough ways to mitigate that it's not too bad if he does it, but I think it's still a mistake to not play around it. That's what I'm going to say. I should have played around it. And then we don't get it, but we see that we just have a vanilla Sasuke Uchiha. Which, it doesn't say whether it's Taka Sasuke Uchiha. Oh, actually, you can check and it shows you the image. So you do know exactly what it is. I didn't know that. I gotta get in the habit of checking, because this does matter for the Sasuke deck. Because the Taka Sasuke works with EX Sasuke, whereas the this one you're seeing on screen right now does not work with EX Sasuke. So it's relevant to know which one. I gotta pay attention to that. I didn't know you could scroll over to the side and see what the images were. Anyways. Now they draw into board wipe. Or no, they use their second Kashi here, don't they? By negating my Koto? Because they go for a board wipe? No. Yes. Maybe. They flip their chakra, they board wipe. I Koto. That's right, they do use their Kakashi here to negate my Koto. So they did end up using their second Kakashi. I thought they didn't. I was incorrect. They did use it. But that's fine, because, And they attacked twice? Yeah, I even considered, like, using this, but I'm like, this is a pretty good board wipe for them, so I don't want to use it. So I was correct to hold it. I'm like, I'll take the damage. They use their board wipe. I Koto. This is a good Koto. And then they Kakashi, which is fine. And now they have double of these. They said they bricked up, but they haven't bricked up yet. Which means if they only break up at the very end, summon the Sasuke. I set both to be careful because I'm lone life. Is this where they brick? Kinda, but like it's not too bad yet. Like this is a scary hand from them in my opinion, or a scary board. Sasuke. This time I do play around the double trap. I probably should have played around it last time too, but this case I would have gotten way more punished if I didn't. Granted, if I was going to do that, there's an argument to attacking with the 1 damage first. But that sort of gives it away, right? If they have the double trap, I do want to get more damage in on their face. So, and also this conserves the EX Sasuke potentially, which might be what they were worried about. That might be why they're like, oh, I don't want to just die to an EX Sasuke. I didn't have it, but I understand the mentality. It feels so bad using the Jiraiya on a single 1 damage Karin, but that's probably what they were doing, right? They were playing around the idea that I had an EX Sasuke, because I don't believe I'd seen them all game. No, I never saw an EX Sasuke this game. But if I had it, it would have been pretty bad for them. So I get the idea behind it, but it feels so bad Jiraiya trapping a single freaking 1 damage Karin. But I get it. You gotta do what you gotta do, right? And they did have 2 copies of this. I was going to say because I had Koto, maybe it was guaranteed, but it wasn't. I set my Karin, I refresh my chakra, end my turn. They said they were bricked up. They're not that bricked up. I Karin, of course. And now, they were thinking they could have had lethal, but I just go for this, which they have no response to. They could have tried to Minato first, but it doesn't really matter. But yeah, at this point they had already lost. I guess this is what they were saying about they bricked up, but they didn't. It wasn't that bricky. It's just that at the end game they didn't draw any prevention. But when you think about it, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 is Jiraiya, 5 is another Jiraiya. They've seen almost half of their traditional prevention in 17 cards in their deck. They've even seen double Kakashi and a Rasengan. They've seen 2 of their EX cards. They've seen Choji, that's a quick play. I think the idea that they were bricked up is a misconception. Their draws here were not what they needed at the end, but I think if they played some of their earlier stuff better, they wouldn't have really been bricked here. It's sort of my way of looking at it. I get the idea that this draw in particular is bad. They wanted more prevention. But when you think about ratios, they had seen about as many prevention as they were expected to. In fact, they might have even seen more than they were expected to if you count the Kakashis and the Rasengan. Their draw might have even been above average. But, you know, Sasuke is kind of better than Naruto right now. I would say, I don't even think I would say they bricked. I would just more say I didn't brick. And Sasuke is kind of better positioned in general at the moment. Because, like, card for card again. Suigetsu is better than Choji, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, in addition to the not bricking as much. Like being able to see the top of your deck so you know you don't brick. But yeah. They were kind of clogged, but I was worried about them having a Gamma Bunta in hand, but it wouldn't have really mattered. They couldn't have summoned anything else anyways. If they had a Gamma Bunta, I was doing this because I knew it didn't matter. I knew I had won the game at this point. With only 2 chakra left, there was no way they could prevent me from winning the game on the next turn. Because of my Koto, so I didn't really care. But if they had a Gamma Bunta, they could have potentially linked this into a further play, so I was just cutting it off the pass, and I think that's correct. Yeah. And they buffed my Orochimaru to be kind. Alright. I have no water. We've been going for a while. This has been fun. Yeah, I think I'll stop for now. I'll see you all on the next stream, whenever that is. I will say, I definitely enjoy the game. I would like, you know, there's only so much variety you can get right now with just 2, whatchamacallits. With just 2, decks. I do enjoy the gameplay, but, probably not going to be too regular of an occurrence. However, I'll see if I can get, like, maybe, again, like 1 of these in a week, unless I get super bored of it. Because I am so impressed with the fact that I'm never dropping any frames. Something has changed. I didn't realize something has changed, but my streaming is better and more consistent than it used to be. And I don't know why, but it is, and that's nice. So I might reconsider some things about streaming, which I'd, like, written off for a while. I was doing this mostly because this isn't, like, important. You know, if there's a stream issue, it's not that big of a deal. Because it's just me playing, fartsing around with Naruto card game. But if my streaming's pretty good now, I might do more of other things. Maybe. I'll think about it. We'll see. See ya. Bye-bye. Whatever. Goodbye. How are you? I'm good. Are you good? I'm good. Goodbye.